Today we're diving into a massive shakeup in an industry pretty much all of us have to deal with, insurance. There's a new technology that's completely re-engineering how claims get handled, and wow, the results are pretty staggering. So let's break it down.
First things first, let's just put the headline number right out there, 60%. We're talking about a 60% reduction in the time it takes to process an insurance claim. Now, this isn't just some small incremental improvement. This is a revolutionary leap in speed that's changing the entire game.
So you're probably thinking the same thing I was. How? How is that even possible? How do you take a process that we all know is painfully slow and bureaucratic and just slash its timeline by more than half? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into.
Okay, so to really get how big the solution is, we first have to understand the problem. And the traditional claim system, well, at its core, it's basically built on waiting. Let's take a closer look at what I mean.
This metaphor right here is perfect. Think of the old system as one giant, citywide traffic jam. Every car, which is like a piece of information, is just stuck. It literally can't move until the car in front of it moves. It's this long, linear chain where every single step has to be fully completed before the next one can even think about starting.
And here are the specific pileups in that traffic jam. It starts right at the beginning, just trying to make that initial call, what the industry calls the first notice of loss. Then you've got people physically typing the same info into 5 different systems. After that, of course, comes the endless back-and-forth phone calls and emails for information that was missed. And finally, a real person has to manually sort through the claim and figure out who to give it to. Each one of these steps just adds more hours, and sometimes even days to the clock.
All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. The AI-powered overhaul. We are talking about intelligent AI voice agents that don't just put a Band-Aid on the old system, they're actually replacing its most broken parts entirely.
And look, this isn't some wild guess or a niche trend. Gartner, one of the top research firms in the world, is predicting that very soon, a whopping 80% of all customer service interactions will be handled without a human being involved at all. That's a fundamental shift in how business gets done.
So, and this is the crucial part, we're not talking about those old, frustrating, press 1 for this, press 2 for that phone menus that we all despise. This chart shows the difference perfectly. Those old systems were basically just phone directories. They followed a rigid script and just routed your call. These modern AI agents, though, they understand how you actually talk, they pull data from multiple places in real time, and they can run the entire claims process themselves from start to finish.
Okay, so this brings us to the core of it all. Where exactly does that 60% time saving come from? It sounds almost too good to be true, right? Let's break down the numbers.
The key thing to see here is that it's not one magic bullet. The savings are stacked up across the whole process. Just look at this breakdown. The biggest chunk, a full 30%, comes from that very first phone call. But then you have huge savings from validating data, from routing the claim, and from customer communication. It all adds up.
Let's zoom in on that biggest piece. A normal first notice of loss call can easily take 30 minutes, and that's after you've been sitting on hold. With an AI agent, you're connected instantly, no wait time. It then guides you through the questions to make sure nothing gets missed, it checks the information while you're still on the line, and then boom, it pushes that data into every single system that needs it automatically. The whole thing goes from 30 minutes to less than 5.
The next massive leap is going from doing things one by one to all at once. In the old world, checking your policy, confirming your coverage, and screening for fraud, those were all separate steps. They happened one after another. Now, the AI does all of it at the same time, in real time, during that initial 5-minute conversation. The waiting game for verification is just gone.
The AI also acts like a brilliant traffic controller. It actually understands how complex the claim is as you're reporting it. If it's a simple, straightforward claim, it gets fast-tracked for total automation, no humans needed. If it's a really complex, messy situation, it's immediately sent to a human specialist. This means that your human experts are only spending their time on the cases where they can really make a difference.
But this is about so much more than just being fast. All of this newfound efficiency creates this incredible ripple effect that changes the entire business, and maybe most importantly, the customer's entire experience.
And this quote from Deloitte just nails it. This isn't about just buying a new piece of software. It's about building an always-on ecosystem. Imagine an insurance company that never closes, where your claim is always moving forward, 24/7, all driven by intelligent AI. Of course, the economic benefits are huge. You're talking lower costs, less fraud, fewer expensive mistakes. But honestly, don't overlook what might be the most important benefit here.
For a customer who is probably in a really stressful situation, getting their claim handled quickly and correctly, that builds an unbelievable amount of trust. And that's the kind of loyalty that money just can't buy.
So, what's the ultimate vision here? Where is this all going? Well, we are heading towards a future where your voice isn't just a way to talk to your insurance company. It's becoming the central operating system for the entire industry. It's the main way everything gets done.
And that really leaves us with one final fascinating thought. We've just seen how this technology is completely turning the insurance world upside down by making voice into this powerful, efficient operating system. So the question I want you to walk away with is this: which industry is next?